Nation.
All right, yeah, it's me again. So, where we left off in the last video, where I ended up cutting off the wick, I had mentioned in that video that I did find some buildup inside the lock. But firstly, a lot of people ask me why I cut the dread to begin with.
Why?
Is that dreadlock wasn't serving me pleasure anymore, because every time I moved forward to do something, it would fall in the way. Even when my hair was tied up, that lock would always randomly not get tied up with the rest of the locks, and it would just fall in the way. It was oddly shaped. The way that it was squeezed felt odd. Like, it was just a good experiment on that lock, and I definitely felt like it needed to shorten up so that it wasn't in the way. This is the lock now. You can see that they've been separated, but there was a journey for it to get to this point too. So without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys this video clip I filmed a few hours after I cut that lock. As I was inspecting the lock a bit more, I ended up separating it because there was still a little bit of the wick left that wasn't a full Congo yet. And then I found something inside, so I'm gonna throw it to that part now. Essentially, I got to work and I was looking at my lock because it was like it looked out of the norm. It was like still getting used to it. Kind of had a phantom limb feeling to it still. You can see how it was still long enough to get caught behind my shoulder and still fling forward if it were to just get in the way. But since it's short, it had nowhere to dangle to, so it didn't get in my way. But I realized, like, yo, it's still kind of crocheted together. Let's see if I can tear this apart and essentially look inside and feel if it's any different with the ends wispy and open like this as a finger, you know, because I felt like it was gonna feel lighter and more maneuverable when it was like this. So first I split it in half, pulled down the middle. Pretty easy to do because I crocheted these together and it wasn't like a professional job, so it was still like pretty loose between the locks inside. It wasn't too hard to pull them apart, which goes to show that you can actually get wicks and separate them pretty easily if you don't end up liking them within like the first year or so, depending on how you get them done. So there was about 5 locks in this wick that I had crocheted together, and the more I started to separate them, the more I really did start to see a buildup happening inside. And it is a natural buildup. It's not mold, it's not mildew. It is a natural, I mean, mold is natural too, but this is a bacteria you don't want in your hair. But essentially I found a sebaceous buildup. One of my new favorite words, sebaceous, meaning sebum. Sebum is a lot to do with oily buildups on our scalp that is actually designed to help keep our scalps cool. It's a cooling system for our head, actually. But you can see here the white buildup that was definitely found. And once I found it in this lock here, it's kind of like a waxy substance more than anything. I realized this is where the majority of it is laying, and there was actually quite a bit of it gunked up at a spot in my lock exactly where the wick met the Congo. It was actually kind of crazy to see where it ended up, because it was kind of like really congested in that one spot right where the wick and the Congos met. So Still trying to figure out why exactly it ended up in that spot the most, but it did. And scratching it did not help it come out. It wasn't a dry buildup, like a flaky, so it didn't flake out. You can see that it was really kind of caked up in there, and for a lot of people this is enough to make them want to cut their locks. No word of a lie. But I'm really understanding that situations like this is almost a natural thing that happens with dreadlocks over time, especially if you're kind of more neglecting them compared to people that go to the salon and get them and washed and redid every month or so, whatever. I was smelling it to see what it actually smelled like, and it just smells like scalp, skin, moisturized sweat. You know, like it's not much of a smell to it. It doesn't smell bad. The only time that kind of buildup has ever really smelled bad, from my experience, is after I've had a really sweaty day skating and I haven't washed my hair and I haven't even rinsed my scalp, and it sits, and if I dig really deep and I try and take some of that sebum out, then it can smell. Then I wash my hair. That's when I do my ACV rinses. Yeah, it's just crazy. So what actually ended up happening was I went to the bathroom and was looking at the lock a bit more, and I had found I wanted to experiment and see how I can get rid of it without like washing, or what kind of substance could I use to wash it with, which I haven't found yet online. I just found somebody saying about Dawn dish soap, but I don't fully recommend doing that. But I was experimenting with different things I have in my cabinet, so I pulled out the castor and the pimento oil and I put some in there, and I had noticed that it kind of like dissolved the sebum when I put the other oil on it. So it took away the look of it right away, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It kind of masked, right, without me washing it out. So I'm wondering if I did use like essential oils to put on there and then wash that out. That's probably the best way to get buildup like this that's sebaceous out of your locks. It is tedious. I feel like it still does need to be dissected. I would never have been able to get inside this area of the lock without opening it up. This is when crochet hooks can come in to be useful, because you can close up the lock afterwards if you wanted to go back to your regular shape of the lock. But I realize even 14 years, 15 years into the lock game, I'm still learning, I'm still experimenting, it's a continuing journey. And that's the thing about life. Life isn't about a final destination. Life is about enjoying the journey along, the entire way. So let's not get caught up in end goals and end all be alls, because you're gonna miss the most important thing, which is the journey to get to that to begin with. And I bring that in as a comparison because like a lot of people want to get locks and just have like an end all be all look, and they only care about how their locks are gonna look at the end and where they want to achieve. But the truth is, you gotta enjoy the whole way through, because there's many different stages, there's many different lessons to learn, there's many experiences to have. And that's about it for this video. So thanks for watching. Just a quick little video and reaction on my buildup that I have found in there. I will update you again, give you guys some close-ups of this and see if I can actually resolve the issue permanently, because when I touch it now, it's still really oily, obviously, because I put more moisturizer in there with that pimento oil, and it smells like pimento and castor oil now. So I'm feeling like this lock just needs a good wash now and a dry, and that situation should be amended, but I'll let you know when I get there. And one last thing was, I know you can't really see it in this shot, but yeah, it's like a finger lock now, which I love this style more than the wick because this, for one, shows how my locks were originally before I wicked it. It also shows the Congo that naturally happened. Yeah, they're kind of like uneven as well. Now, I did originally cut this thing straight and then I trimmed them again to make them more like an uneven look. But I'm gonna give you guys some shots and some better lighting to end this video. And yeah, just let you guys know, Knot Nation is here. I'm back. I'm doing dreadlock content every single day. Freeform lock content. And if you haven't subscribed on Reddit already, let's link up on Reddit. And also check out the merch shop. Support Knot Nation any way you can. Even just leaving a comment and a like is enough. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, one love. Stay happy and natty. And I'm gone. So adios.